For our main topic today, we're going to try to take the wisdoms that we've gained from Derek's video on New Year's resolutions and apply them to a savings goal. I have mentioned it a couple times before on the podcast, but when I make a savings goal, I try to make it FAST. FAST being an acronym for frugal, attainable, specific, and trackable. Attainable, specific, and trackable are all directly correlated from the wisdoms that are mentioned in the Veritasium video. The first one, though, frugal, is the one that I think needs to be applicable specifically to financial goals or financial resolutions. When I talk about frugality, I don't want you to think about it as being miserly. I want you to think about frugality as a virtue that's defined as the intentional practice of prudent economy. Here at the HopeFilled Financial Podcast, we treat frugality as the foundational touchstone, the virtue that should help us and be informed with all of our financial decisions. Now, I've mentioned it before on the podcast. In fact, that's how I started last year for 2023. I went through the intentional practice of prudent economy. The first 4 episodes were all describing frugality. And, well, if you go back, they're a little cringy because I wasn't very good at this. Budget bravely and enjoy your hope-filled financial future. That being said, we're going to reprise the topic of frugality and cover the entire definition in one episode. Please subscribe if you don't want to miss us covering frugality next week. So let's do an example. Let's say for this year, for 2024, I want to save $10,000. So while $10,000 here might seem like a lot, if we break it down into the monthly chunks and make it so that we only have to save $833 a month, it not only is attainable, but it looks a lot more attainable. Okay, so in this example, we've established that saving $10,000 over the period of a year is more attainable, especially if we make it $833 a month. But just saying that I want to save $10,000 may not be specific enough. See, right now I have savings just generically. When we are working on our savings goals, it can be incredibly valuable to us and motivating if we break down the goals for specific purposes. Okay, to be more specific, let's say break down my $10,000 I want to save this year into 3 main goals. The first one is going to be a vacation to Rome. Back when my wife and I were dating, that was something that we really wanted to do after getting married, so we'll go ahead and put it in the list. Next is going to be a brand new barbecue. I've mentioned it before, I really like my barbecue, but it's going to need to be replaced eventually. And the last goal that I have right here is going to be a brand new phone. I'm still currently using an iPhone 7 Plus. Now, if we come over here to this side, I've already broken down these goals into specific amounts for each of these 3. $8,200 for the trip, $800 for the barbecue, and $1,000 for the new phone. Now, those goals for the end of the year are going to result in $683 needing to be saved for the trip to Rome, $67 being saved for the new barbecue, and $83 needing to be saved every month for the phone. Okay, now we have 3 attainable goals that are very specific, broken down into monthly bite-sized bits. But in the example we have here, do we have something that's also trackable? In the first column after the category, what I have written is what is budgeted for each month. For each month, I can over here fill in as I go how much I've actually saved. So I've got what's budgeted over here, what I'm actually going to save each month over here, and the next column is going to be called the delta. The delta represents how much more I have to save. You'll see if you're watching the video that if I save exactly what I need to each month, the delta column, the way I have it set up, goes to 0. That makes it trackable on a month-to-month basis, but we can do better. The next couple columns that I've added are going to be tracking our balance as we go month to month. The first one, and this comes again after the monthly budgeting stuff, the first one is going to be how much money we have in the start of the fund each month. Being that this is January, we're starting with nothing on these. But once I type in that they've been saved on the end monthly balance, it shows me my progress. And I can update this table every month so I can see where my savings is building as I go. And if I make it so that this spreadsheet opens up on my computer automatically when I boot it up at the start of the day, it's going to serve as a reminder that I am on track to make my goals, my resolutions, a reality. And if I run into a tighter month where certain expenses are going to make my savings potentially not make it, well, I know with my visual reminder that I have to make some sacrifices in order to keep up with my financial resolution. And I can make that reminder all the more powerful by showing the percentage of my progress here in a final column called progress. Now, Excel in particular has a conditional formatting tool that allows me to make the cell where the percentage lives a progress bar. You can't see it yet because 1 month of savings is not enough to show progress. However, if we jump forward to how the spreadsheet is going to look here a little over halfway through the year, you can see that I've set up the progress bars in the progress column to progressively march a bar along, and eventually when I make my goal, it will say 100% and the whole cell will become orange. I personally think the little progress bar in the progress column is the most powerful visual reminder for me when I'm looking at my monthly budget, when I'm looking at my savings allocation plans, when I'm looking at my sinking funds. A savings allocation plan is nothing more than the table that we made here. It is a list of all of our savings goals that are specific and our progress that we have made toward those savings goals. Each individual savings goal in that list was a sinking fund. We said we want to save this much for this item. Here's how much we're saving each month, and here's how far along we are to making that goal a reality. If you have any financial resolutions or financial goals that you want to make a reality this year, are you going to take what we've learned today and apply them? Are you going to make yourself your own savings sinking goals, and are you going to set it up in a way that is frugal, attainable, specific, and trackable? If so, let us know in the comments below if you were able to make your savings goals fast. Give us a before and after. Tell us that you're going to make those goals happen, and then come back to this video at the end of the year and give us an update. Let us know, were you able to make your savings goals fast? I think that's going to do it for us today. Until next week, until next Tuesday, budget bravely and enjoy your hope-filled financial future.